You know, I was worried about this. Just like I was worried that I wouldn't like Dune. Dune seems to be split down the middle between people. And I wanted to like Dune. I really, really, really want to like Eternals. I just hate when a trailer that I watch comes true. I see a trailer and I'm like, oh, I'm not really liking this trailer. And then I go see the movie and then it matches my feeling. Eternals has a couple of cool parts in their trailers. But overall, I feel like when I go see this, it's not going to be that great. I just got a bad feeling. And I've been had it. People say, oh, you shouldn't go into it thinking that it's going to miss it. That's not true. Plenty of movies I thought were going to be great. Ended up being bad. Works the reverse way. Plenty of movies that I was kind of like, or I didn't think were going to be good. They actually ended up being good. Or better than I thought they were going to be. Like Doom was better than I thought it was going to be. But it just bored me. That's the difference. I thought it was good acting. I thought it was shot well. Direction was good. It just was boring the fuck out of me. So it's not technically a bad movie. It just wasn't good for me. It's like Mercedes made great cars, but they're not for me. I'll most likely never drive a Mercedes. They're just not for me. See what I mean? Technically sound car, technically sound movie, but it's not for me. To me, Mercedes are a little boring. They are. But anyway, many of you were saying, well, don't go see Eternals then. Apparently certain people I shouldn't say many, several of you said, well, you ain't gonna like Eternals then. So it says here that so far Eternals is the worst MCU Rotten Tomatoes review average since Thor 2. Now, ever since all these different debacles and scandals with stuff like Captain Marvel, with all the empty movie theaters, but somehow it made $1 billion, and between scandals on Rotten Tomatoes with that movie and several other movies, review bombing from each side, Metacritic, all these different websites, I don't trust them no more. I don't. So I take it with a grain of salt when I hear about Rotten Tomatoes, but I do know that in between the garbage, I know there's some truth. But let me see what we can see here. It says here, Marvel's Eternals hasn't drawn the same level of critical enthusiasm we usually see reserved for Marvel movies so far. At the time of writing, after 41 reviews, meaning there's a big caveat, that this score is still likely to change a lot as the movie reviews pour in. That's definitely true. Eternals sits at 71% positive reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. That's lower than Black Widow, Avengers Age of Ultron, and Iron Man 2. So far, it's only higher than The Incredible Hulk, which is 67%, and Thor The Dark World, which is 66%. To be fair to Marvel's newest film, this isn't a precise science, and like we say, this is a small sample size of what likely is to be the overall number of reviews for the film. Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, which I was scared was going to be bad, and I actually ended up liking. I didn't love it, but it was passing, and I think if it comes out in 3D, I'm going to buy it. But for example, ended up with 313 reviews in total. So Eternals has a long way to go. What's notable about the critical reception of Eternals, though, is that some outlets haven't gelled with the way Chloe Zhao's movie reframes the MCU at all. The Guardian, for example, calls it Magic Hour meets PowerPoint. The former in reference to the movie's on location sunset shots, and the latter is reference to just how much additional lore the film stuffs into the MCU. The Telegraph calls the film inspired, while Polygon said it's a very messy movie. Still, at 71% positive reviews suggest plenty of outlets like it too. Our sister site, Games Radar, says that it gives the MCU just the kick in the pants it needs at this phase in its evolution. A nice notice on The Observer says almost all the relationships between the many Eternals crackle with energy and history, and praises two characters for having sexual chemistry, which is something the MCU has always seemed afraid of. So why is Eternals proving divisive? Well, the epic scope of the film sounds like a blessing and a curse. It's set over 1,000 years. It's set over 1,000 years and retroactively fits these god-type characters into the MCU that already has 9 realms seen in Thor and the ancient sorcerers of Doctor Strange. The film goes out of its way to provide a reason why the characters don't intervene when Thanos snapped away half the universe, which is bound to be a tough sell. Some critics seem to like the movie's vastness, praising its ambition, while others have found it unwieldy. On Tech Radar, we've seen the film and we'll publish our review of Eternals the closer we get to release. Well, I'm gonna go see it. I'll be there, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go try and see it in 40X, just like I try to go see every movie in. That's an epic movie. I try to always go see it in 40X. So, I wanted to see Dune in 40X in 3D, but they didn't have it in either or in both. So I chose 3D when I saw it. So, oh well. I'm afraid. I've got a bad feeling, but you never know. I could end up being pleasantly surprised and not as bad as I think that it might be. Yeah. Well, let me know what you guys think. 10 million subscribers. Woo!